Okay, hear me out. No. Hey guys, I hope you've had an amazing week. In this week's video, I'm going to be talking about something that's a little bit controversial in the art community, which is tracing art. Can it be a helpful tool for learning or creating, or does it diminish artist integrity? Feel free to grab your sketchbooks and draw along as I talk about something that may just get me cancelled. So I don't think I need to say this, but if you've been living under some kind of rock Patrick Star style, tracing is the process of copying an image by copying its lines or drawing over them to reproduce the exact same picture. Okay, but low-key, why was that a terrible explanation? It sounds pretty straightforward, right? You're probably expecting some grrrr, tracing bad kind of argument, but it's a way of drawing that is very nuanced. Tracing has been used by artists for literal centuries, from the Renaissance masters to modern digital creators. It's a method that can help with accuracy, learning, and efficiency, but like a lot of things in art, it do kind of be a double-edged sword. Let's just kick off things with the positives, just because there are multiple reasons why tracing can be a useful tool. So for one, tracing can be incredibly beneficial for beginners. It helps you understand structure, proportions, and the anatomy of stuff, if you're paying attention while you trace, that is. By tracing over real-life references, or to be a bit more controversial, someone else's art, you can learn about their techniques and improve your own skills. Tracing can allow beginners to see how shapes and lines come together to produce something that resembles whatever they're drawing. It helps demystify complex compositions, objects, and stuff, I guess you could say. I'm doing a terrible job of explaining this, but I think you know what I mean. The reason why I decided to use this Speedpaint for this video is because I traced and heavily referenced a picture of my sister that I took. So that picture, I then use it as a reference to help with the kind of scrunchy pose, and then I also went ahead and I was absolutely struggling with drawing the feet and the toes, so in the end I kind of gave up and just traced them. So I went ahead and traced the toes and stuff just because they're an absolute nightmare to draw, and I was getting real sick and tired of rubbing out and redoing and rubbing out and redoing. It was so annoying. Anyway, so I'm being upfront about that because sometimes it helps to trace, acknowledge it, and be transparent, but also pay attention to what you're tracing and how you're tracing it, so that way you learn. Could I potentially draw toes better now? Maybe, but I should do some studies for real though. For professional artists, time is a luxury. Tracing can speed up the process, especially for repetitive or intricate designs. It's not about cutting corners, it's about working smarter, not harder. Sometimes people, particularly professionals who already have mastered their craft, need to speed up the process to make deadlines and such. So by tracing whatever they need to draw, it can cut down on heaps of time that would have been used to sketch the same thing. And lastly, for the positive points, if you're aiming for accuracy, tracing can be an absolute lifesaver, like I was talking about with the toes. It ensures that elements of your artwork are proportioned correctly and align details precisely. This is very useful when you're trying to draw someone. If you're trying to draw a specific person, someone special, whoever, just because you want to capture their exact likeness, and that can be really tricky, especially if you're going for a more stylistic kind of look. So tracing can be instrumental in ensuring that the person you're drawing actually looks like the person in question. Of course, tracing also has its fair share of criticisms as well. I'm sure you're fairly aware of all of them, but I'll talk about them anyway. So one major critique is that tracing can lead to a lack of originality. When you rely heavily on tracing, you might not develop your own style, which I know is a big hot topic today in the art community, developing your own style and stuff. So with a lot of heavy tracing, it can become a crutch rather than a learning tool. It's easy to fall in that trap of tracing because it's quick and easy, but if you're not creating your own unique content, are you truly growing as an artist? There are also quite a number of ethical concerns and ethical problems to consider. Tracing someone else's work without permission can be seen as theft. Once you post that work, that is no longer in the grey area, that is just 100% stealing, no ambiguity whatsoever. It's important to respect the intellectual property of other artists. Some people do not feel comfortable getting their artist traced, even if there's no malintent, no malicious intentions, just, wanting to learn and develop a similar style perhaps. Some artists are just not comfortable with that. And also, if you do post trace art, you have to credit the artist, and you need to be frank with the fact that your work is traced, because you are 100% gonna get cancelled. I won't be liable if your takeaway from this video is that tracing is good. So yeah. This also goes for using other people's work as a base without permission. I know bases are a whole thing. I've never personally used them really, but I know a lot of people do. So making bases out of people's art and then using those bases to make art is, again, very similar, just basically stealing. So it can lead to serious consequences, both within the art community, but also if you bark up the wrong tree, potentially even legal problems can follow you. Another catch is the risk of becoming too dependent on tracing. If you always rely on tracing in order to, I don't know, like to draw correct anatomy, you might find it challenging to then draw the human body freehand without tracing, and that can lead to like stunting your skills as an artist. This dependency can stifle creativity and hinder your progress as an artist. This dependency can start to like stifle your creativity and really hinder your progress as an artist. It's important to balance tracing with your own freehand practice, as well as like experimentation and stuff. Make sure you use references. It's totally okay to use references. Some people's like, it's cheating, it's cheating. It's not. Everyone uses them. Except me, because I'm stupid and forget to. So, how can you use tracing effectively without becoming overly reliant on it and also not getting cancelled? Here's some tips on finding that sweet spot. 1. Trace work from different artists to understand their different techniques so you can build your skills, but make sure you also spend time creating original pieces. By doing this, you gain valuable insight while still developing your own unique style. So if you're wanting to improve your style and you like elements of the style, tracing can help. Remember, like I said before though, credit. So this goes with the next thing. Number 2, always credit the original artist, even if you're using their work as like you're heavily referencing it to emulate the style, or you're using it as a base, especially if you like post said art. If you're tracing their work closely, it's also good to make sure you get their permission, to be honest, because some people get really sensitive, like I said, about their art being like traced or whatever, even if there's no malicious intent behind doing so. So respecting others' work is crucial in maintaining integrity in the art community. You do not want to get cancelled. It is ruthless. For number 3, try combining tracing with freehand drawing. So for instance, you might trace a base sketch and then kind of add your own details and style, or like I've done here, only trace a part of the drawing you're really struggling with. This approach lets you benefit from tracing while also expressing your own creativity and utilizing your own skills and building upon them. And lucky last, dedicate time to practice freehand drawing. Even if tracing helps with accuracy, it is essential to challenge yourself to draw freehand. Building your skills without the aid of tracing will help you grow and refine your artistic capabilities. This tip is especially important for beginners or people who feel like they've grown an unhealthy reliance on tracing, so yeah. So, what's my personal final verdict on tracing? It is a tool that both has benefits and drawbacks, as most things in life. Used wisely, it can absolutely help enhance your skills, speed up your workflow, and help you learn and stuff. So yeah, but it is crucial to avoid over-reliance and also ensure that you're respecting the work of others. The key is to use tracing as a means to an end, not the end itself. Balance it with freehand practice, credit the original creators, and always strive to develop your unique style. Now, I'd like to hear from you guys. What do you think about tracing? Do you use it in your art practice? Let me know in the comments below. Tracing is often demonized on social media, so let's be honest with ourselves and fess up if you've ever traced to help you with your art process. It is really not that bad to trace every little once in a while, provided you respect art's intellectual property and also ensure you're practicing freehand too. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you watched through this whole thing, you are a real one. Be sure to like, comment, and sub if you enjoyed. I hate saying that, but I don't know, I make myself say it anyways. And if you'd like to hear more from my stupid mouth or watch more of my content, then click on whatever videos YouTube decides to recommend you on the screen right now. Thank you so much again, and I hope to see you soon. Bye!